What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. It's been a while since I last did a scenario where the ending was bad, with all the heroes dying or something along those lines. So, instead of doing that, why not do a scenario that starts because of that ending, where one of the original arcs from the series ends badly, causing the new focus to be a villain. I kinda did this before with What If Frieza won, creating a desperate ending where only Frieza remains. So you could say this one is kinda inspired by that. While he's supposed to be a bad guy, the main character of today's What If is Cell, and no, it's not going to be Cell turning good or anything. Today we have a mini scenario that I've always wanted to do, one that I couldn't really turn into a full scenario but works good as a mini, and that involves Cell winning the Cell games. Although, after writing this out, I did realize there may be potential for another part, so I'll set a like goal for 3,500 likes. If we hit that, I'll know there's enough interest for another part. Anyways, let's begin the short scenario. So, with Cell winning the Cell games, that obviously means the scenario is going to start at the Cell games. Specifically, we begin with Cell and Gohan in a beam struggle. Cell's solar Kamehameha counters Gohan's father-son Kamehameha, and the two are trying to push each other back, desperately trying anything possible. But even with Goku's moral support for Gohan, it's not working. Gohan's drawing out all his power, but in this scenario, let's say it's not enough. And slowly but surely, he feels his beam being overpowered. He gives one last push. It seems like he might actually be able to do it. He might win against Cell. But then Cell lets out a shout, powering up drastically as he overpowers Gohan's beam. Gohan is killed by the blast, as the beam creates a massive divot on Earth, even visible from space. And even though they said Cell's beam had enough power to destroy the solar system, it'll be more interesting if it doesn't in the scenario. I mean, think about it, it's also a concentrated beam, and with the way it's angled, it probably wouldn't blow up Earth. Although it would leave a pretty big battle scar. The beam flies off into space, whizzing past planets in the solar system as it eventually dissipates. And throughout the solar system, it pretty much illuminates everything, outshining even the sun. Cell takes a deep breath and then breathes out, admiring the work in front of him. A massive chunk of Earth right in front of him is missing, with Gohan nowhere in sight. Another death has occurred during the Cell games. First 16, then Goku, then Trunks, and now Gohan. Is Cell's list of victims gonna end? Seemingly not. Vegeta is barely alive after being injured by Cell before. He was planning to attack Cell from behind to try and help Gohan, but it ultimately did nothing. Besides him, it's just Piccolo and the other human fighters there. And even though it might seem hopeless, Vegeta's not gonna give up. He goes in for one last attack, trying to attack Cell with everything he's got. He used up pretty much all of his energy, and he's pretty badly injured. He lands a flurry of punches on Cell, but they do nothing. Cell tanks all of them, laughing even. He hoped Vegeta would have put up more of a fight, but Cell tells him this is where his story ends. Cell sticks a hand in Vegeta's face, saying goodbye and launching a blast that kills Vegeta instantly, leaving no trace of the Saiyan Prince. In his anger, Krillin uses a solar flare, trying to blind Cell so he could buy everyone time to escape. He actually has a plan. It would be tough, but if they were able to escape, they can get to the lookout and maybe get the Dragon Balls, then reviving everyone and fixing this. Well, Goku and Vegeta would stay dead, but they could at least bring back Gohan and Trunks. And it'll give them one more chance, but as Krillin launches his solar flare, Cell launches his own. An even stronger version that leaves all of them blinded. They all disperse, trying to escape and get back to the lookout somehow. But Cell knows what they're up to. They're probably going for the Dragon Balls. Cell lifts his hand up and then swipes it in front of him, creating a massive wave of ki that hits all the other fighters, killing them as well. And just like that, Cell eliminated all of the Dragon Team, killing all of our heroes including Gohan. Alright, so that's pretty depressing, and what does that leave us with now? Or what does that leave Cell with is a better question. He just killed all the strongest fighters on Earth, and now it's just him and whatever Earthlings are left, but none of them are strong enough to even challenge him. That Mr. Satan guy is still alive, but he actually wasn't as strong as he was letting on. But apparently he might be one of the strongest Earthlings left. And if that's the best they got, Cell's gonna be kind of bored. I mean, think about who Cell is. He's always looking for a good fight. He's kind of similar to Goku in that way. But now, there's no one to fight. No way to challenge himself. This puts Cell in a bit of an existential crisis. He already did everything he wanted, and now he can live an eternity doing whatever. But what is there to do? Blowing up Earth wouldn't really be too fun for him. All he really wants is a fun fight. But wait, even though there's no strong fighters on Earth left, maybe, just maybe, he could scour the universe and find other fighters elsewhere. I mean, he could breathe in space after all and fly through it. Not to mention, he now has instant transmission. If he senses any strong powers, well, just place 2 fingers on his forehead, teleport there, and he's facing a strong fighter just like that. Well, he has nothing better to do, so he decides to just go along with this. Maybe he'll get lucky and find someone out in space to fight. And even if he doesn't, he could just train out in space, finding extreme environments to train on. First, he flies out of the atmosphere, hovering above Earth, admiring his work once more. He sees an absence of clouds with a giant crater. Had that beam been angled any lower, well, all of Earth would have been torn in half pretty much, if not blown into little pieces. In space, he tries to sense any powers that he can, looking in every direction trying to sense at least something. From here, he doesn't really sense anything, so for now he's just going to try flying through space, first going throughout the solar system looking around the different planets. Some of them have pretty harsh conditions, and those might be fun places to train on. Hey, it would be a nice change of pace after all. Instead of fighting different fighters, he'd just be fighting the elements of each planet. These places are uninhabitable for anyone else. But for him, it's a new training ground. Hell, considering how strong Cell is, he could even go train on stars, going to the sun and trying to train there. The high gravity there and intense conditions would make it hard for anyone else to live on. Well, not hard, impossible. But for him, it's just a challenging space to live. He could grow stronger and test his limits there. Although the heat is pretty annoying, so he's not going to stay there for too long. Maybe he could check out some other stars even. And thus, we begin Dragon Ball GT. Well, not really, it's just Cell's grand tour. Him going around the galaxy and the universe, trying to find whatever strong people he can. No Super Saiyan 4, no Tuffles, nothing like that. Just Cell looking for a purpose in life. He senses a bunch of strong powers gathered in one place, and it turns out it's the Galactic Patrol prison. He considers going in there and freeing some prisoners to try and fight them, but how would that even work? I mean, they wouldn't want to go out into space with him and you can't fight them there. Otherwise, he'd blow up the entire prison and kill them like that. And even so, the strong fighters there don't seem incredibly strong. He wouldn't be faced with a challenge like he had against Gohan or Goku even. He's just gonna leave it alone for now. But maybe he can come back later and try and do something with that. Alright, what other places can he go to in the universe? Well, there's Vampa, but if it went off everyone else's radar, I'm sure Cell wouldn't be able to find it. Namek would be pretty hard for him to locate since even Goku had a hard time doing that. He had to go to King Kai's planet for that. And even then, Cell knows he wouldn't really find a challenge there. Piccolo was the strongest Namekian and he was killed by a single attack from one hand by Cell. So there's probably not going to be a challenge there either. Cell spent some years out in space, trying to train on different planets and going around just looking at things. Trying his hardest to find any strong fighters, he eventually does come across some, but whenever he fights any of these aliens out in space, he's just too strong to even face them. Nothing's really too amusing. Well, maybe he can go back to Earth for now. They produced strong fighters before, so maybe after all this time gone, there might be some more. People looking to make a stand against Cell. And even if not, he could have some fun trying to take over Earth, trying to create some sort of galactic empire. That's the Frieza in him talking. It wouldn't be as fun as fighting, but still, it would be something to do. He gets back to Earth, and he senses an odd key when he gets there. It's nothing like he's really ever sensed before. He doesn't recognize who it is, and it has a weird presence to it. Almost sort of mystical in a way. He tracks it down, and the closer he gets, the more energies he senses. There are some low ones, but there's one really strong one there, plus another weird aura emanating from the area nearby. But one that almost seems dormant in a way. He can't really describe it, which is why he's searching it out. Eventually he does get to the area where he senses it, and he sees a weird looking structure. It doesn't look like it was made by humans, almost like it came from outer space or something. He edges closer and then he realizes, this might be a spaceship. Someone comes out of this spaceship, ready to fight Cell right away. He introduces himself, Pui Pui. Babidi actually saw that Cell was coming their way, and decided to send out one of his best fighters. If they fight Cell, he may give them enough energy to revive Majin Buu. With Pui Pui's great strength, he'll be just enough. The two get ready for a fight, as Cell then launches towards Pui Pui and lands a single punch. Pui Pui is killed on impact and then launched off into space by the punch. Oh, Cell was kind of expecting him to be stronger. He should have held that punch back or something, but, you know what, whatever. Maybe there's other strong fighters inside. Okay, clearly Babidi underestimated him. Yakon should have a really good time, and while Cell does have an aura usually, it's not like Super Saiyan where he's constantly giving off light. He's able to figure out Yakon's gimmick pretty quickly, and if he can't use any attacks involving ki or light, his bare hand should be enough. He lands another punch, and just like what happened with Pui Pui, Yakon also dies on impact. Very sad times for Babidi's crew. Okay, that didn't really go to plan, but they still have one more fighter, one more really strong fighter, and this time, he may actually be a match for Cell, Deborah. Now things are getting interesting. Cell could tell this guy's strong, and he's nothing like the other two. Even in his stature alone, he could tell this guy's menacing. Deborah introduces himself, King of the Demon Realm. Cell doesn't know what that is, nor does he really care, but he introduces himself, the creation of Dr. Gero, an android from the future timeline, comprised from DNA of the strongest fighters on Earth, or at least the formerly strongest fighters before they died. The two begin trading blows, and right away it's apparent that they're actually pretty even in terms of power, at least at the current point in the battle. Cell's not going all out right away, because if he did, the battle would probably end pretty quickly and he'd rather pace himself and have fun. Deborah actually seems pretty strong. Deborah then pulls out his sword, trying to attack Cell with it, with Cell blocking every attack, then breaking the sword in half. But that was a mere distraction, Dabura then spits on Cell. Cell's quick enough to block it with his arm, and Dabura then laughs. He tells Cell, once he's hit by that spit, it's over. He's gonna be turned into a statue, which means Dabura's finally won the fight. What a cute gimmick. Dabura is shocked to see that Cell just brushes it off, and as Cell's arm petrifies, he then grabs it and rips it off, flinging it at Dabura. He catches the arm and is just confused. What, did he just rip his own arm off? Well, that does counter him being turned into stone, but still, what a stupid move. He's just gonna make this fight easier for Dabura. Cell sticks out the top part of his arm, and then forcefully regenerates a new one. Oh, Dabura sees now. He's a regenerator. He's gonna have to be really careful in this battle. He spits more at Cell, trying to freeze every part of him. But Cell now knows this gimmick, and performs a solar flare, blinding Dabura. As Dabura's vision returns, he doesn't see Cell, but instead sees a weird little blue creature standing in front of him that kinda looks like Cell. He's then kicked in the back of the head as another appears, and then another, and then another. While Dabura was blinded, Cell created some Cell Juniors. The Cell Juniors gang up on Dabura as he tries to fight them. He does kill some of them, but with so many of them around him, he does take some damage, eventually then destroying all of them. Dabura is a little beat up and now pissed off. He powers up and rockets right towards Cell, ready to land a finishing blow. Cell powers up and braces for impact, catching Dabura's arm as he gets close, flipping him over his shoulder, throwing Dabura into the ground behind him and creating a massive crater. Dabura weakly stands up, but as soon as he does, he feels something pierce through his chest, a perfect death beam. Cell has won the battle, and it seems Babidi has no minions left. Cell enters the ship hoping that there's more fighters inside. He still senses that odd aura from before though, that one that he thought was dormant, as well as another really small signature of ki that's down below in the ship. Cell places his hand on the ground and then sends a beam through the floor of the ship. Jumping down and finally getting to meet Babidi. Babidi is cowering in fear, hiding behind Boo's egg as Cell is confused. What is this? It looks like some weird sort of shell or something. But as Babidi's cowering in fear, he then looks down. The egg, it's almost charged. It's at 99% of power. No, even higher than that. Dabura grabs the energy collecting device and then teleports to the surface. Crap, he needs to work quickly, and he sees Dabura, who's almost dead but not quite. He asks for Babidi to help heal him, but instead feels something pierce his side as Babidi stabs him with the energy collection device, taking what little remains of Dabura's ki, killing him. Cell jumps up out of the ship, looking around, setting his eyes on Babidi. There he is. Babidi quickly teleports back into the ship, giving the energy to Boo as the egg begins to burst. Cell wonders where he went off to now, but then sees steam below him, and jumps out of the way as a massive pillar of steam comes out of the ship. That ki that he sensed before, it's finally hatching. Oh, that shell that he saw, it must be some sort of egg. And out of that egg jumps Majin Buu, with Babidi now laughing. He thanks Cell for all his hard work. Thanks to his energy, he was now able to revive the Majin. And now he'll kill Cell and rule the world. Oh, another strong fighter. This is just what Cell wanted. But that Babidi guy is kind of annoying, so he launches a perfect death beam, killing him, before Babidi can even get Boo to block it. Cell introduces himself to Boo, and then immediately he can tell how smart Boo is. Obviously, not very smart. Boo just begins babbling on. He sounds like a caveman. He could tell this guy is strong, but he seems pretty stupid. And then he realizes, Babidi must have wanted to control him somehow. It seems the Majin is so dumb that Babidi could have accomplished that. And that gets Cell thinking. He has a really good idea. If Babidi could have controlled Boo, who's to say that he can't? He asks Boo, does Boo like fighting? Boo responds by saying that he prefers candy, but he thinks fighting's pretty fun too. And Cell sees a great opportunity. He asks Boo to join him. If they work together, he'll give Boo all the candy he wants. Plus, he'll be able to fight Cell. And the two of them can spend all their time trying to fight and get stronger, as well as going around the universe doing whatever they want, destroying planets, flying around, anything. Boo is elated to hear this. Candy and fighting? The Cell guy sounds fun. It seems like Boo just found a new best friend. Well, Cell doesn't really want to consider them friends. Boo's more so a minion to him, but yeah, whatever. If it makes him happy, they're best friends now. Together, the two of them can go around the universe, trying to find other strong people as well as fighting each other. Think about it, this is amazing for Cell. He finally found someone stronger than him, someone who could also fight in space and move as fast as him, and someone who could regenerate. They could fight forever. This is Cell's dream opponent. Screw Goku or Gohan. This is the perfect warrior, the one that he was looking for. The two fly up into space, ready to fight their first battle, and then cause havoc around the universe. Cell reconsiders what he said before. Maybe Boo is his best friend after all. He sees a fun friendship between the two of them in the future. Now, we could leave off here, but I do want to mention one more thing. After all the fighters died against Cell, naturally a lot of them would go to Otherworld. Sadly, I don't think Vegeta would keep his body. He was kinda good by this point, but still, the sins of his past don't really make up for it. And he still was kind of an ass during the Cell saga. But everyone else gets to meet up. Shortly after Goku died, he's joined by Gohan. and Gohan's beating himself up over not defeating Cell, but Goku says it's okay. They'll train together here, and now they could all spend eternity together getting stronger. Soon after, they're joined by the others, Piccolo, Krillin, Tenshinhan, and Yamcha. And even though Trunks is in the wrong timeline, he's in Otherworld here too, which kinda stinks. He'd rather be in his own timeline with future Gohan, but whatever. At least he could train here or something. And with all these strong fighters in Otherworld, maybe there might be a way to fix everything, if they were to come back somehow and fight Cell. They were getting so strong training together in Otherworld, and they really do want to make things right. But we'll be saving that if we get another part. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about the scenario? What do you think of how things went for Cell? And what do you think would happen with him and Boo? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try and hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.